Tony Bucks de my boxeo, man. Back at it. This time, not so good of news, but we'll let the people come in. This is not what we wanted to be seen in the media. Hopefully it's not true. So what y'all think? What y'all think? Is it some facts? I'm pretty sure it's facts, man. Boxing scene confirmed it. Boots acting scared. The fake phenom that struggled with Karen. So of course he doesn't want to smoke with Vergil. The hard hitter. The hard hitting Texan Mexican. All I know, these Mexican American, whatever you wanna classify them as, is putting pressure on these boys, man. Putting pressure on them. From Benavidez to Vergil to Murtaya to Cepeda. You know what I'm saying? But Boots acting real scary. Real scary. And his fans and the media that rides with Boots heavy, where they at? They crickets. And they claim that nobody wants to fight Boots. How is that? But I mean, we all seen it. We all seen the Boots versus Karen. It wasn't good. So a lot of fans and a lot of media too, we're not dumb. We know what will happen if Boots faces Vergil, and hopefully it still goes through, cause that's a fight I want to see, been wanting to see. And Boots was gonna get a big bag. It's not for a championship, but he's gonna get a big bag from the Arab cat. You know what I'm saying? Turkey. He's gonna get a big bag, but he don't care about the bag right now, cause he don't want to take that L. And it's sad because he supposedly wants a lot of fights, and he's not getting a lot of fights. And when he gets a big fight, it's not a Bud Crawford fight, but hey, it's a risky fight, and I get it. I get it why he wouldn't want to fight Ortiz. It's a risky fight. Imagine taking an L. If he ain't getting no fights right now, he especially won't be getting no fights with an L. So they have to move smart. But hopefully they don't avoid Ortiz, because, I mean, like I said, I want to see Boots Ennis get beat the F up. Because I know he ain't got it to beat Ortiz. I've been saying this. Exciting fight for sure, though. But he'd get knocked out versus Ortiz. He wouldn't make it all the way to 12. Boots shows a lot of, alright defense versus subpar competition, but once you're in there with a top-notch fighter, I mean, you know, you can't really be showing out like that. You'll get clipped and you'll be laid out in the canvas. So I mean, we saw it with Karen twice. You know what I mean? He couldn't take out Karen. So just imagine what Ortiz will go in there and do to Boots. But there's no Ennis fans up in this joint that have something to say, because they always have something to say. Email champion. Didn't take the belt from no one. I'm hoping the fight goes through. I'm hoping Ennis doesn't duck Ortiz, for real. And if he does duck Ortiz, it's going to look real bad on his end. Real, real bad. Because Turkey's offering a whole lot of dinero to the opponent to face Ortiz. And what I read on Boxing Scene, that if Boots avoids Ortiz, then it's probably going to be Fundora versus Ortiz, which is a even better fight, because two Mexicans going at it, we know what that is, fireworks. So if Boots avoids Ortiz, Fundora is going to get a bag and Ortiz is going to get a bag to face each other. And there'll be two belts on the line, so for a unification match, it couldn't go better for Ortiz. Because like I said, if Boots is to fight Ortiz at 54, which I don't think Boots wants to do. I don't think he wants to move up in weight and face Ortiz at 54. But we all know Ortiz can't make 147, or else that fight would go down at 47. But Ortiz has almost lost his life for trying to make weight at 47. So there's no way the fight can be at 47. So they can get that out the way. 47's a no-go. Has to be at 154 junior middleweight. And Boots acting real spooky right now. Real spook. And that's crazy because they act like they'll fight anybody, but obviously they won't. If it's not signed already. But from what the news that's coming out right now, it's not looking pretty for Boots. Gonna be labeled a ducker. And that's no good to have on your name. But like I said, it wouldn't be a good idea to have an L on your record already. Being undefeated, you get no fights. Being email champion, you get no fights. Imagine with a L on your record. Exactly. So, I mean, Boots really gotta watch out if he steps in the ring with Vergil Ortiz, the hard hitter Texan man, the Texan hard hitter. Put your lights out, Ortiz. So we get it. If you avoid Ortiz, we get it, but don't do that to the fans. Don't do that to us fans. Because they label Boots Ennis as a very good fighter. I don't see him as, he looks to be talented from what I've seen, but so is Ortiz. And then I don't see what these other uh, YouTubers fans see from Boots because he hasn't faced any top notch competition. So I mean you can't give him his flowers if he hasn't faced the top of the weight class since Spence is has been out of the ring since his defeat to Crawford, and Crawford is at 54, and Boots hasn't been able to get the fights with the other champions at 47. So I mean he hasn't beat anybody, but they praise him to be this god that he ain't. Phil, Philadelphia is looking real shook right now. Real shook. That Texans sparking fear into them. That hard hitter from Texas. So I'm like, damn. A couple days ago, it was it was out in the media that they had verbally agreed to the fight. But I mean, we all know that that holds no weight. At least I know that. That holds no weight in boxing. If it ain't signed and delivered and and they ain't in the ring, walking to the ring, then it's hard to it's hard to believe. So at least it gotta be signed and be official to believe it. And I knew that verbal agreement didn't mean nothing. Cause Boots Ennis, probably his team, I'm pretty sure they probably want the fight at 147, but they know Vergil can't make 147, so why even try? To try to get an advantage that a fight that won't be going down since Ortiz can't make 147. That's dumb. So so if they want to face a fighter like Ortiz, a test really for both of them to see who's really the top dog, one of the top dogs in around 47. Well, not really 47, at 54. Boots can beat Ortiz. He can beat anybody at 47. And if he can beat Ortiz at 54, he can probably beat anybody at 54. So it'll show a lot for Boots especially, and then for Ortiz as well. It will just show, and then from there on forward, it would just show a little bit, since they'll still have to face the top of the division to see if it's really them to be that guy. But if Boots chooses to avoid Ortiz, we'll never know. At least Ortiz been through a tough fight with Bohuchuk. Someone that Ennis could probably lose to. We seen how the fight went with Ortiz. It was a hard fight, but Ortiz edged it out. Even with the knockdowns, he edged it out. He did the most. He inflicted a little bit more damage. So, I mean, that's how I seen it. But they have to fight each other to see where both of them are at. But from what the media is stating, Boots don't want it. Will he prove us wrong? We'll see. But as of now, they don't want the fight. As of right now, they don't want the fight. Boots' team doesn't want the fight. Boots' dad, trainer, doesn't want the fight. Cause they know Ortiz is gonna go in there and beat his son up. Ortiz is a hitter, al estilo mano de piedra, hands of stone. Ortiz, non-stop pressure. It would look bad for Bootsy. Yo, Ortiz will possibly stop Boots because Boots' chin hasn't been tested, and if he's able to not get stopped by Ortiz, then it will show a lot. It will show he has a iron chin, but I mean he still has to get in there. He has to get in there with Ortiz. but he doesn't want to. Boots Ennis doesn't want to get in there with Ortiz because he knows that's a crazy fight. He'll probably end up losing. And I mean, it'll be too fast to take a L. While moving up in competition, losing right quick, and be labeled a big hype job. I've been saying Boots is a hype job. I believe his hype is just hype because he hasn't shown nothing crazy and hasn't fought no elites. And they claim he's God, man. Like, that's wild. But I mean, like I said, that came out. If Boots picks to avoid Ortiz, then it might be Sebastian Fundora versus Vergil Ortiz, which is even a better fight. Unification, WBC, and WBO, if I'm not mistaken. No, not WBO, WBA. So, and that'll be a tough fight for for Vergil. A Fundora fight. A Fundora fight be crazy work. That would be a crazy fight. Crazy, crazy fight. And who I got winning? Mm-hmm. Sheesh, I think Fundora's good, but he would get clipped. He did get clipped a bunch of times by Lubin, Zoo. He's been dropped, and his his body type. Like, he's super tall, but I mean, he's like fragile at times. Super talented. Can't take nothing away from him. But sheesh, Virgil been down too. Um, and you know, Virgil can also withstand shots, but he brings that pressure. Virgil brings that pressure and has hands of stone, man. And if Fundora leaves himself open and gets caught with a couple shots from Ortiz, I think Ortiz will put him to sleep. So, right there, that's just like even better fight for Ortiz, honestly. Fundora versus Ortiz. Ortiz versus Fundora. So, I mean, if Boots decides to duck Ortiz, hopefully he don't. Don't get me wrong. I want to see that fight, Ortiz versus Boots. I really want to see that fight because they've been talking about it for a bit, and Boots became champion first, but he didn't fight a champion to become champion. Regardless, he became champion, IBF champion of the world. Vergil hasn't been champion yet. Interim, yeah, but his health problems that he was having before, uh, caused him to go on a break and, stall his career. But now, exciting fighter, getting the opportunity for big fights, and is positioning himself, Vergil Ortiz, that is, to get even secure bigger fights versus the champions at 54. Like, especially this unification that they're saying he might get if Boots Ennis decides to avoid Ortiz. It'll be real lit. So I believe Ortiz is gonna get a great opportunity to face a champion, if not one of these names of up and coming fighters, champions. So regardless, Ortiz is gonna get a good opponent. But fighters like Boots, if they choose to avoid these type of fights, then you really can't be sorry for them, since they're the ones avoiding fighters, not wanting to take risks for whatever reason. And that's why boxing is somewhat watered down, because they won't take these hard fights, and they're just scary to take these fights and take a L, because that's what happens. That's what would happen if Boots Ennis faces Vergil Ortiz. Boots Ennis would take a fat L, and his team knows it, and all boxing knows it. So I mean, he's lame if he decides to avoid Vergil Ortiz, because that's a great ass fight that we all want to see. But if not, Vergil Ortiz is gonna have better options anyway. So I mean, just that we don't want to be seeing Ennis' team crying that they can't get fights if they're avoiding fights as well. So I mean, they will only have themselves to blame for that. So yeah, that's gonna be the end of this live, because I seen that and I had to get on them. Because how you gonna be trying to avoid these fights, man? These are the fights you need to be taking to become bigger in boxing, man. But yeah, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, man. Till next time.